I mean, as you can see, the theme here is I kind of keep pushing myself to learn and be able to build and create new things. Still trying to figure out what's next. What can I do now? Come on in, make yourself at home. Don't mind the chaos. Since like a young age, I've always been into playing with Play-Doh, building Legos. I mean, that's really what got me going, and my parents supported it too. I never took it seriously though. It's like I kind of had the skill, but a little bit, but didn't really push it until there was this one project. It was a drawing, and it was all like tiny little stipple. Like I stippled the entire portrait. I brought it in to show everybody, and everybody was like amazed by this thing. At that moment, I realized that I had something that I could contribute. Like I had a skill that was people were coveting, or people were entertained by it, or people were amazed by it. It was like at that point that I realized that, if I really wanted to do something or really wanted to push myself, that I could, given like time and patience and all those things. And so kind of the next project rolled around, and I dedicated myself kind of another next level. I started pushing myself again and realized that I was able to, produce something that was beyond what I thought I was capable of. That's kind of like my ongoing theme through my whole life, is that trying to compete with myself. So then, got out of high school, I was really inspired by movie special effects. The movie Jurassic Park just like blew my mind, like these dinosaurs running around back at that time period. It was a big deal. These live action animatronic dinosaurs like running around and like eating people. It impressed me, and I saw that like other people were entertained by this, and like that's kind of my driving force, is to be able to make something that can uplift other people or entertain other people or educate other people. And just by like honing a craft, like that's all it can take to have that effect on people. So I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I sort of grouped in with some friends that were really skilled, and like they already had skills that amazed me. And so I like befriended these people, like, oh man, this is so cool, I love what this guy can do. And I started working together with other people that were better than me, like my teacher and stuff, and I started trying to absorb all of their knowledge and all of their skills, and asking thousands of questions and driving myself further and further, until I was making stuff that other people were looking at that was impressive on like a next level kind of thing. And that got me to the point to where when I graduated, like I was one of the top of the class at that point. The first job I applied for was an animatronics company right down here in Bowling Green. And I got in right away, and I started sculpting there. I kind of started low, but I worked up pretty quickly. I was sculpting portraits. Before I know it, I was sculpting figures in like Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum. I was sculpting figures in National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in Cincinnati. Animals, creatures, characters. Throughout that whole period of time, I was looking at other people within the company that had skills that I wanted to acquire, and was trying to like analyze and figure out how they could do that, to better myself, to push myself. And I just kept like standing on the backs of geniuses to make my own way, and that drove me to the point to where I built my own website. I started getting freelance work. People were like the Toledo Zoo found me. Actually, the first time they built the Africa area on the other side of the Anthony Wayne Trail, I got right in and started making a couple props for them right away. It was successful enough that I actually like sort of left working for the animatronic company and was doing freelance for them. That eventually that came to an end, so I decided to establish myself with my own workshop. I needed to get some roots in the ground so I can start producing my work. So about this place, sort of latched onto that and was like, I'm gonna build a house. 1,000 YouTube videos and a bunch of how-to books later, I converted the barn into a house. Throughout the house building time, was working with an artist in Bowling Green. His name's Erwin Rettel. He's a world-renowned lighting artist. I've been working with him for 10 years now. I'm his lead engineer. I'm his right-hand man. We lit up the ProMedica building there. That whole concept of how the windows and the way they illuminate and stuff was something I was really a big hand in developing. The way that actually works with the side-lit LEDs and the way that they're made. I was a major part of that. Sometimes, you know, I mean, like the projects are bigger than what we have accomplished already. So, but those, we apply to them. You know, we put ourselves in there, put ourselves in the mix, go through the motions. And you kind of learn like what it is that you might be missing, that you might need to try to work on to add. And really like doing it is the best way to learn. Like
Right.
you go through the process, you know, you make mistakes, that's when you really learn. I mean, as you can see, the theme here is I kind of keep pushing myself to learn and be able to build and create new things. Still trying to figure out what's next, what can I do now? Kind of a dream job in a way that I would say that like I would totally go and do this like right now is to work with paleontologists or archaeologists and like recreate ancient species of animals and stuff like that. Look at all the different types of people there are in the world. Like each one of those is like a personality. You know, you got like the sleepy, lazy person. There's people that are sleepy and lazy out there. You got like the tinker guy who's like always working on stuff. You got those type of people. The fisherman, like the strong guy who everything is brutish and strong. And then maybe just like the explorer type mentality. And you know, so I'm capturing these personalities, and I want to, you know, there's a lot more. And I want everyone to like look at one and be like, that one relates to me. Like,